Black Tears podcast. It's Vertizi. I'm gonna go and give you the rundown for tonight. We got Women's History Month, your favorite cocktails, favorite albums of the last decade. Then we're gonna go switch over to Tears No Tears. MJ selling his basketball team. Tyler Perry and Byron Allen bidding for BET. Joe Budden says Martin was never a superstar. Opening week of March Madness. And then your favorite segment was wrong with these hoes. And we're gonna talk about how a lot of them be begging. Hey, C's. So we've had a lot of very important women, throughout history. Who's a few women that you want to give a shout out to?
Let's do so for me, Angela Davis, one of the most important figures in Black history, Black history, just the civil rights movement. So we all know she went on to become a professor, still to this day an educator. She was really significant in the early movements of the Black Panther administration. Also, we have Grace Harper, who was a computer scientist in the Navy. So she's credited with helping develop the world's first supercomputer. Also, with that, more importantly, we have Ada Lovelace, which she was a British woman, and basically in the 1800s, she's basically credited with becoming the first computer programmer. So basically, if we wouldn't have computers function the way they do without the efforts that Grace Harper and Ada Lovelace made. For also Latinos, I did not forget about you. Uh, I don't really know too many women's significant history as far as like things outside of entertainment, but there are a lot of women as far as painters. But Celia Cruz, which was a Cuban woman, basically the caricatures you see in a lot of cartoons back in the day, like with the woman with the colorful dresses and the fruit on their heads. That's Celia Cruz. And also, we have Shirley Chisholm, which was the first woman who ran for black woman to run for president. And then I can't think of her name, but there's two really important women. Um, the after school lunch program came from the Panthers. There was women that were heavily involved in that process, and I want to say, oh no, the after school program was made by a woman in the Bronx. And then free lunch, free breakfast was from the Black Panthers. But what you got, Rosa?
Yo, what's up, man? It's Mr. DJ Rose. Don't forget the Mister. And no, I didn't mess with your sister. So happy Women's History Month and happy Social Work Month. So I'm gonna go with Eunice Huntington Carter. She was the first African American woman to work in the prosecutor's office in New York County, basically Manhattan. Um, she's famous because she was one of the key prosecutors that came up with facts to in the prosecution of one of the monsters, Charlie Lucky Lucino. So that's who I'm a shot my women's history month out to. If y'all get a chance, y'all should go look her up and read about her. She was very influential. You know what I'm saying? So that's who I got. And also she was a social worker too. So that's what Verteezy. What you working with?
Yo, yo, yo. So I got three different women. Um, all have three different backgrounds. So Angela Bassett is my first one. She just lost an Oscar again, but the reason why I have her is because she's been so instrumental to black culture in terms of through media. We've seen her in movies like Boys in the Hood. We've seen her in play Malcolm X's wife. You know, we've seen her in play Tina Turner. What's love got to do with it? Then a lot of you women, y'all seen her and Stella got her groove back, and that gave y'all a little bit of confidence. For a younger generation, y'all may know her for her roles as the Black Panther, and the first one being a fierce, mother, kind of quiet and stoic, and the second one being a grieving mother. Um, as well as to another younger generation is into something different. You may know her from the American Horror Story, where she plays a voodoo queen slash witch. She's very versatile, and I feel like throughout her whole history, she's always had grace, and she's married to Courtney B. Vance, and she's to me all her roles describe to an extent like a strong black woman, whether it's being the partner of Malcolm X, being quiet and whispering in his ear, or whether it's standing up to abuse like she did when she was Tina Turner, or her even being in a role like Boys in the Hood. The second woman I have, another woman that was married, Michelle Obama, um, the first black first lady. You know, started a lot of programs for kids' health, and I just want to touch on. There's probably so much stuff she had to deal with behind the scenes, with Obama being the first black president. Helping guide him, helping keep him calm. And, she to me is just an example of, especially if you've seen the documentaries that they've had on her the last couple of years, she's just an example of why it's very important for strong black men to have a strong black woman. Because as he was going through everything he was going from running up to be president to doing his term as president twice, had he had, no offense, white, Asian, or something else wife, they wouldn't have been able to understand the struggle that he was dealing with on a day-to-day basis. Yeah, see, you got some?
Doesn't she also have a law degree herself?
Yes, she do have a law degree herself. So she's an educated woman too, and an author. And for those who like to watch Disney and Nickelodeon, she likes to have fun. She's been in a couple of TV shows like Victorious and iCarly and stuff. For those who know those shows, so she's not always the serious lady that y'all see her on TV as. And the last lady that I would like to give a shout out to, she was, a housekeeper. She used to clean up for white people in their houses and stuff like that. Work in hotels, and kind of like, more of a servitude role. But more importantly, she was my grandma, Lavinia Jenkins, and she just kind of always exemplified to me what a strong black woman is, being loyal to and faithful to your husband, and not always necessarily agreeing, but being submissive and understanding that even though you're submissive, from my point of view, I always looked at that my grandma ran the household. And that's something I feel like sometimes a lot of the younger women in the generation don't understand is when you actually are submissive, you actually are actually taking more power from your man, and you're actually more in charge because you have more of a say than you really think you do. Um, but so those three women I want to give a shout out to for, Women's History Month. And yes,
Mama.
all my women was black. Oh, and like Rose said, hey, make sure you tell your mom you love her.
Mama, I love you.
So,
Mama.
you didn't hear us do our normal intros where, C's and Rose and myself say we sipping on this, we sipping on that. We didn't do that for a particular reason. We're gonna talk about some of our favorite cocktails, and when we say cocktails, we mean liquors. So I'm gonna start with the, master of ceremonies, Mr. DJ Rose on this topic.
Okay, so one of my famous drinks that I came up with myself is called the cran apple and watermelon. So basically, how you make it is cran apple, and then you got to get the Minute Maid watermelon. I actually won a prize from Jalen and Jacoby from this cocktail right there. But my favorite liquor has got to be Remy. Um, I like Remy. 1738 is probably one of my favorites. The church set is pretty good too, and the XO. Um, haven't had the Louis yet, but it's coming. I already done looked at it a couple times. I got it in my cart right now. I'm just waiting to push the button for the perfect time. So then we'll be sipping on that Remy for one of these that Louis for another episode, but not today. But and another good one is Douce is pretty good. I like Douce. For right now we sipping on the AU, the blue raspberry. That's pretty good. It tastes like Kool-Aid though. Um, but when I go out to like cigar shops, things like that, I like an old fashioned. Um, and and when I'm just sitting around the house, I drink on a Stella beer, you know what I'm saying, or a Modelo, um, that sort of thing. Pour it neatly in the glass with get the foam right. You gotta pour it right. Now, I said pour it neatly, but I didn't say pour it slowly. You know what I'm saying? You gotta recognize that so you don't you get all it so you can open it up. So you'll learn about that too when you're a professional like myself. So um, but I think that's about it. What you sipping on?
Do I have to
Seas?
pick one?
No, you can pick as many as you want to.
So I am a man of many.
Hey, see, this one drink you better say.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about
We
it.
already know what it got
Hey,
3 letters.
so hey, and that actually I got two of them that I like that got 3 letters. Let's talk about gin. Gin is a very underappreciated drink. I would do with PD Pablo. See, I'm drinking on Seagram's gin because they pay me for it. Ain't that what he said in the freaking? But nah, Bombay Sapphire, uh, dry gin. Just I can't think of it. Gin and tonic. Gin and tonic. Very very dry drink, but if you have a perfectly made one, it is very 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 good. But yeah, out of those, Bombay Sapphire just got to be one of my favorites as far as like if I'm making a gin, like hey, give me a gin, Bombay Sapphire. There's a couple other lesser known gins, but Bombay Sapphire. And then the other 3 letter word is going to be thank you, the Caribbean fucking pirates. Thank you, rum made from molasses. There's so many different types of rums in the Caribbean. Appleton. Hopefully, I get a chance to go to Jamaica and go to the Appleton Estates distillery. But yeah, mojito. So going with rum, two drinks I love. You got the classic mojito, which is your mint, your sugar, and your rum. And then also there's Coke and rums. See how versatile rum is? Shit, you can make a rum cake. There's a lot of shit you can do. Also with sugarcane based liquors, there's also you have from Brazil, it's called cachaça, which you use to make a caipirinha. Basically, it's fresher. It's a fresher pressed sugar cane where sugar cane rum's made from molasses, cachaça is made from straight. So it's like it's like gasoline, but it's great when you mix it. If you ever get a chance to go to Brazil, Brazilian style restaurant, anything like that, it's called. Remember, ask for a caipirinha. Also, so when it comes to let's talk about Irish Baileys. I love Baileys. I've been told I am the only black person they know that fucking drinks Baileys. Straight up Baileys, like on the rocks or just straight. Um, and then you got Irish. What's the name of the damn drink? It's Irish.
I think it's just Irish cream.
Irish cream. It's classic. That's a classic underrated drink. And then you also have the Irish car bomb, which is
We had one of those yesterday.
Yeah, we had one of those. It was disgusting.
I like it. I like it. And then also, if I'm in the club, I'm trying to, keep the night going. Vodka Red Bull is a classic. Specifically, one that I would always would get is the kiwi apple Red Bull and vodka. And then that's there's snaps and different liquors. I could go all day about this, but those are some of my favorites.
Well, it's Baptiste, man. So as someone that smokes a lot of cigars and like DJ Rose was saying, being in cigar lounges, I love me an old fashioned. Um, especially if I can have some Macallan. I'm a whiskey, drinker naturally. Another drink, it's you. They use cognac though. I like a good sidecar. You know, it kind of cuts the taste that a lot of cognacs have. Um, as far as cognacs go, I do like Martell. I could sip on that Hennessy. Douce is probably like one of my favorite though. Douce and Remy 1738 are probably two of my favorite cognacs. Um, I thought C's, because of his name, Seiko was gonna mention Mr. Jack Daniels. Uh, but me loving whiskey, I love Jack Daniels, Crown.
Coke and
You
rum,
know,
Jack and
yeah,
Coke.
good Jack and Coke. You can never go wrong with that. As well as I like to sip on something like Macallan straight. I know yesterday, me and DJ Rose, as we was watching the March Madness, we was enjoying whiskey Long Island. Had
Yeah, that was
Jim
pretty
Beam,
good.
Maker's Mark, Jameson. Did it have one more whiskey in it, Rose?
It did, but I don't remember which
Yeah,
one it was.
can't remember what the other whiskey was, but it had four different whiskeys in it, and everything else that makes a Long Island. And you talk about something smooth to get you through that March Madness. Speaking of that, man, C's, what you think about this opening week of college hoops March Madness?
Kind of crazy. My enemy lost. I'm happy about that. I told everybody they were gonna get knocked out.
Did
Duke.
y'all make it though?
It doesn't matter.
Did y'all make it though?
It doesn't matter.
Y'all the same team that refused to go to the NIT, but I'm gonna let you go to.
It is what it is. Hey, we'll see where you get in a couple of years, man. We still got the running winnings anyway. So, but back to the topic. Princeton, very, very, very not surprising, but surprising at the same damn time. Um, I'm still sticking with Houston, man. These brackets are gonna get crazy. Rose, how's yours looking, man?
Oh, I got a couple of brackets that's looking really good, but like that Princeton yesterday, we watched some of the Princeton game, and they gave them boys a business. That was surprising.
Yeah.
That was really surprising. Princeton and it was another game that the guys that beat Purdue. That was shocking. But it's March Madness. You know what I'm saying? It's always gonna be some upsets. But you know what I'm saying? It just looks forward to see which team doesn't live up to the bill. Like y'all been good all year, but then y'all come down to where it really matters, and then y'all fold like a lawn chair. You know what I'm saying? That's crazy. But my bracket's still looking good. I still got Alabama still he's still in it. Houston still in it, and Tennessee. I had Tennessee winning in a couple of my brackets too, so they're still in it too. So I, for if I could pick one of those teams, I would rather it probably be Houston or Tennessee. Take it all this year. I don't want to see Alabama win anything, but yeah, one of those, yeah. But Vertiza, what about you? How you liking it?
Man, hey, I got tears of sadness and tears of joy for my brackets. I got some brackets that look great and some brackets that I'd rather not speak on. But as far as the final four of my best bracket, I got Alabama still alive, Houston still alive, UCLA still alive. And the madness has begun. The first day we saw Furman beat Virginia, and that was so crazy because I was taking a nap. Woke up, saw on my phone that some boy from Virginia threw a pass half court from the inbound, and a white boy, I'm gonna repeat, a white boy jumped like 10 feet in the air, snatched the ball, and threw it to a brother. And let me tell you, that brother caught it. He didn't think about it, man. He just stroked that thing and sent them boys home with a three. Yesterday as we was watching the madness, enjoying our drinks, I saw Kansas lose.
Surprising. Bill Self, great coach. That just that's just one of the ones. A one seed. A one seed. Another real quick was FDU, like Fairlight something school.
Yeah, Dickerson.
Fairlight Dixon. Never even
Mhm.
heard of the damn school, man.
Yeah, they're still in it too.
Still in it.
Yeah, to see Purdue lose. Now let me keep it real. I ain't even have Purdue going to the Elite Eight. I don't think I had them going to the Sweet 16. But still, to have a number one seed lose to a 16 seed, man, that's crazy, bro. That had me kind of like, whoa, 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 what's going on here? And then back to Thursday. Thursday, like C's brought up earlier, Princeton. When I saw Arizona lose, that's probably when I really knew that March Madness was with the shits. I was like at that moment I was like, oh yeah, like anything can happen, anything is possible. Um, so let's just keep tuning in and just see if the madness continue. Speaking of madness though, man, Michael Jordan, not Michael B. Jordan, Michael Jordan,
MJ,
MJ
the original MJ.
is supposed to be selling his NBA franchise, the Charlotte Bobcats. No, the Charlotte Hornets.
He
Um,
went old school.
yeah, the Charlotte Hornets. Sees. please help me get through this. But please explain this to me.
He took the team from being worth a couple million to a couple billion. If anybody, if time now to get out, he's built the team up. The significance of it. Yes, he will be the only. He is the only majority black owner, but you got to look at people's lives. Like these are people's business and lives. They're not looking at the significance of business wise. A lot of people aren't looking at, hey, this is a black owned business. They're like, nah, this is the billions. Let me capitalize on my investment. I'm tired of running the team. You know, he's tried to coach and do other things, and maybe this is just his time of, hey, let's let this be an exit. But also, that is not the word. Hey, this is your opportunity, black business owners. Somebody, come on, do it. You know, buy this team.
So what? So you got tears or no tears?
Me, I ain't got no tears, man. That MJ get paid, man.
Man, I got tears, man. I think it's usually when people sell their investment to make more money, it's cool. But he's selling. He about to sell the team to Master, man. He's selling out, man. I got tears, man, because like you the only one. Now it's been plenty of people trying to get in that door. You're in there, but then you're gonna go out and just sell out to Master. Like, come on, man. Like you, if you, I wouldn't have a problem if he sold it to another brother. Then I wouldn't have a problem with that because then we can at least have somebody in the door. But once he sells his team, the door is probably gonna be permanently shut. And like, because they don't want to let us in the first place. They already let you in. They gifted you, and then you're gonna end up just giving it right back to him, man. I think it's whack, man, and I don't think it's right, and I don't think he should do it. But man, I got tears for Teasy.
Man,
Tears, no tears.
I got tears, man. And to touch on what Rose was saying, people have to understand when he signed with the Wizards. Let me give you a history lesson. He signed with the Wizards. That was actually to try to eventually be a owner of that team. That did not come to fruition. The opening came up in Charlotte. You know, we from that area, play basketball there, all that different stuff. And the NBA looked at it. You know, these white owners looked at it, and David Stern looked at it as, man, Michael Jordan took us from being millionaires to billionaires, and they gladly gave him a team. So to touch what Rose was saying, like there's not gonna be another brother or sister that's gonna get the opportunity because look at how much money you made the NBA in the '90s from just people watching and TV deals, and then on top of that, in terms of shoe deals and stuff like that. So yeah, they gave you that team, man. Like the only way I would not have tears is what Rose said, man. Like MJ has to make it very clear, I'm only selling this team to a black person, even if it means I'm not gonna make as much money from selling the team. I'm only selling it to a group of people and let a black person continue this because right now in professional sports, and this is my biggest tears right here, MJ is the only minority owner we have outside of the Arabian dude that owns the Jacksonville team. So in terms of like black ownership in baseball, football, and basketball, MJ is the only one we have, and what it means for the culture for him to own that team is too significant. You know, we're gonna move on to like other icons. Joe Budden, you know, one of the icons of the podcasting industry, was talking about Martin Lawrence, who I got him as an icon. On his podcast, he said Martin Lawrence was never a superstar. Now, what does that mean to you, C's? Do you have tears or no tears for that?
I got no tears for Joe Budden's dumbass statement, but I got tears for Martin. That's disrespectful to Martin, man. Top 10, dead or alive. Top 10, dead or alive. And if you want to say he's not that famous or he's not that big, this man went to Dubai last year, had little kids, 8, 9 years old in Dubai. That's a whole nother country. We're Dubai. All these headlining movies and franchises he's been in, Bad Boys, not just in Big Mama's House, and the significance of Martin as a show. Martin is one of the biggest comedy shows from the '90s, and just the way a lot of comedy shows are stylized was imitating. A lot of these comedians imitate Martin from stand up, from when he was doing Def Comedy Jam, hosting that. The significance of Martin Lawrence is just as a comedian, as a host, and a movie star. I just feel like he's one of the biggest ones to ever do it. Not just even as a black comedian, but just as a comedian. Period. And that to me, that's tears for just the disrespect of that. So that's for me. That's how I feel about it.
Yeah, I got tears too because I'm kind of confused because I thought when they only can, when your name when they call you your name and you're just one name that makes it a superstar. I thought that was like when you're known for just one name, Martin. Boom. You say Martin, everybody know what that is. Everybody, kid, little kid, grown up, everybody know what it is. Martin. You know what I'm talking about? You say Martin. You know Martin. It's only one Martin.
Martin.
It's only one. So it's like, of course he's a superstar. I don't know if is he mad or what. I don't know. Maybe his boyfriend might have broke up with him that day or something. I don't know. So he might have maybe his butt plug was rising up when he said that he said the wrong thing or something. But I don't know. But Joe, you tripping? You tripping? And so I got tears. We're teasing. Tears, no tears.
Man, it's funny. We did an episode saying your favorite cocktails, and every tear, no tear got me thinking, was somebody drinking? Because Joe, you had to be drinking, man. Martin was making from '95 to 2007. He was part of the Martin Show, or was dropping a box office movie from the Bad Boys franchise to Big Mama's House to Blue Street to then co-starring with
National security.
Eddie Murphy in Life. You just said National Security. Like, he was constantly putting out work. At one point in time, for like a 10-year stretch, Martin was, excuse my language, everyone, he was that nigga in Hollywood. He was that man that you want a funny black person to star in a movie, not be part of a movie, star in a movie. You call Martin Lawrence. So you don't get no bigger than that. You beyond a superstar. To me, you mega star status. Um, Speaking of, mega entertainment, we have BET, everyone knows BET. Tyler Perry and Byron Allen are both bidding for BET Network. C's, give us a little backdrop on that and tears or no tears.
Man, tears because I'm happy that there's a possibility that black entertainment is gonna be back in black hands and not in MTV's owners Viacom. So, with that being said, let's just do a little background on Byron Allen. If you don't know who Byron Allen is, he is the owner of a couple of networks. Just look up Entertainment Studios. You probably seen him on public broadcast and a couple other stations, but he used to do interviews. But he owns a lot of different businesses and stuff. But everybody knows Tyler Perry. But uh, a lot of people are going to make the argument, hey, they should probably do a joint venture. Why not just work together instead of working against each other? I'm happy. It'll be tears of joy as long as it ends up back in black entertainment ends up in black hands and
I
the
feel you
right
on that one.
message and the right messages. So hey, let's open it up to that. So
Yeah, so I don't have any tears for it. Cause they just I don't know. It doesn't really matter to me. I don't care which one of them buys it or they can do it together or what. I don't care. But I did start watching BET Plus. They got some good shows on there. Tyler Perry, the doggone fool, that's got a show on there called Ruthless, and it's about a doggone coat. If y'all get a chance, check that out. Ruthless. We got 3 seasons on there. I think they're making the fourth one now. I think, but that's a good one. And but on BT Plus, Tyler Perry's like most of his stuff is on there, and like he just makes shows for BT Plus. So it would be more probably ideal for him to buy it because if you go on BT Plus, pretty much everything on there is you see Tyler Perry, pretty much on every line because he makes just shows for BET Plus, and also they starting to make movies straight to go BET Plus, and that'd be pretty good too. They had one with Monique, a new one. Y'all should check that out. I can't think of the name right now, but
The reading.
The Reading, yeah. That was a pretty good movie, and that went straight to BT Plus. So that was a pretty good one. So they whatever they're doing a good job. But I think it's with the name Black Entertainment Television, it needs to be owned by a black person. And when he did sell it to MTV, he should have sold it to a black person. I just don't understand. Like, there's plenty of black people out here that's getting this bread, man. We got to keep things in our own hands. We need our own stuff. Like, come on. Just like they have their own stuff, we need our own stuff. Or cheesy, tears and no tears.
I got tears, man. And to touch on what Rose was saying, side note, just because something's going straight on BT Plus don't mean it's bad. I just want to make that clear because when movies go drop on straight on Netflix, Paramount, Prime, and Apple,
Mhm.
y'all still watch those movies and y'all still say those movies deserve all kind of accolades and stuff. So BET is no lesser than those platforms. But with that being said, my tears come from I would like to see these two black men work together to own it instead of bidding. One, because you finna make a white person rich. So you both bidding against each other is just raising whatever the asking price for BET is. And then y'all could just come together and y'all both might have different visions for BET, but sometimes two heads is better than one. And maybe it might take both of y'all visions to bring BET to the status that it deserves to be on. But as far as Tyler Perry, like if one person did own it, I'm with Rose. Like if you watch BET Plus, the Own Network by Oprah, like Tyler Perry, regardless of what you think about his work, he's a genius in terms of the amount of content he's able to put out on a yearly basis. He has like 15, 10 different TV shows going on at this moment, as well as so many different movies and stuff that he's constantly creating. That if he did, if it was to own BET, I'm pretty sure that we would see much more Tyler Perry than we do now. So, you know,
And he's always giving in his movies black actors opportunity to shine.
yeah. And he's always giving people opportunity to feed their families. Speaking of feed their families, man, what's wrong with these hoes?
What's
Uh,
wrong with him?
Man, there's a lot wrong with him, man.
Man, we gonna talk about these begging ass hoes. And if you
Bah.
know, and if you know who you are, don't I don't want nobody to say, he just talking about black women. No, we talking about begging assholes. If you feel some type of way about this segment, guess what, Rose? Use a what?
Oh,
And not just a hoe, use a
begging
begging
hoe.
asshole. So DJ Rose, man, what's wrong with these begging assholes?
I don't know what's wrong with him, man. But every time I be on Instagram, and then and it's just people are always just begging. You know what I'm saying? It's their birthday. Then you got your cash shopping. Like, come on, that's just another way to beg. Like, come on, you might as well just go on the side of the road and hold up a sign. Like, come on, panhandle. How you go panhandle on the internet? I get tired of scrolling past that kind of stuff, man. It's crazy how y'all just. Why don't you just get a job,
Sell some
keep the
pussy.
job? That's a job. And it's a legal job in some states. So, but yeah, just use what your mama gave you. Son, a woman should never be broke because they always got something that can make them some money. So
And what's that song? My milkshake brings all the boys to the yard.
yeah, so that's my take on it. Uh, Vertiz, what you thinking?
Man, first of all, I'm tired of just like what DJ Rose said, getting on Snapchat, hoes posting their Cash App, PayPal, and all this different stuff. Instagram, TikTok. Man, it's to the point now. These hoes are so bad, bro. You be on Instagram just following a hoe, and she'll say, "Oh, pay $5 a month for my subscription." Okay, you click on it to see what it means. Oh, that just means that if you DM me, I'm going to respond faster to you, and you get to see pics that I'm gonna post that everyone else ain't gonna post. Like what? So I actually did it one day.
Mm-hmm.
Man, let me tell you, bro.
It was a
First,
scam.
first of all, it ain't even like she responded back within like 10 minutes. It took a couple days. Two, it ain't like she was showing like her nakedness or whatever. Like she was just naked. Like she was just posting pretty much the same pic she was posting on her Instagram. Man, I canceled that subscription so fast. I canceled it faster than the subscription to goddamn Hulu. Like, bruh, that hoe right there, man. Then when you meet a girl, you exchange information or whatever. I kind of miss the days of when you couldn't text all night. When you had to tell a girl like, "Hey, yeah, I can't be on the phone past this time. I can't be using all my texting minutes." Because, bruh, within 2 days, what's the first thing when these hoes gonna text you? Sees, oh,
I'm sure I need
I,
$40. I
I'm
need
short
20.
on my light bill, my water bill, my rent.
I'm having a bad day.
I'm
Oh,
having
what's
a terrible
wrong?
day.
I just can't make rent this month. I need help.
I can't feed my 3 kids that I had with these 2 niggas that ain't got no jobs. You know,
I I I I I don't work right now. You know, I'm in between jobs.
I'm gonna make you wait to get the pussy, even though I'm throwing it all over the CSRA free.
I'll send you a picture of my breasts if you can send me $20.
Just $20. Like, I ain't got time to hang out, but if you got some money, I can come over and fuck though. Like, bruh, it's just so bad nowadays with these hoes, bruh. Like, first of all, y'all out here fucking these bum niggas for free, for free, and then going to a real nigga and begging a real nigga. If you in a situation where you got a man, a boyfriend, a fiance, whatever the fuck you want to call it nowadays.
But Nate, she's in the bind. She's in the bind, Nate.
Some other time.
She's in the bind, Nate.
Some other time. Hey, Rose. When I'm gonna get my money? When I'm finished. But if you got some kind of nigga in your life, please, don't hit me up to get your hair and nails did. And then after you hit me up, 2 seconds later, post a pic reviewing your man. Cause I'm gonna be like, hold up now. So if you finna go out of town with that nigga, why that nigga can't pay to get you taken care of? Cause he gonna be the nigga smashing. Oh, side note, if y'all done heard some ice, clean, and y'all done heard water splash, hey, we talking about cocktails. I've been making a couple cocktails this episode. But man, that's how I feel about these begging assholes, bro. Hey, stop begging.
Speaking about cocktails, cock sells too.
Hey,
I'm running a special. Anybody want to see it? Anybody want this drop box?
So, hey, as far as I'm concerned, you begging assholes, y'all need to get a job at Walmart, McDonald's, Popeyes. I don't give a fuck. Or y'all need to just sell that pussy. Say what your mama gave you. But hey, stop. Hey, don't come to Vitizi. Don't come to C's. Don't come to Rose. Begging for $5, $10. Because guess what? I ain't got it.
But speaking of Women's History Month, let's just go back to wasn't there? So I can't think who said it, but somebody said we gotta use what we got to get what we want. I can't remember who said it, but hey, happy Women's History.
Happy Women's History Month. Shout out to all the beautiful black women out there.
C's, what's wrong with these hoes?
I don't know, man. That is what's wrong. But speaking of what's wrong, with a man, forget about the hoes. Let's talk about this past decade. This 20 from 2010 to 2020. What are some of your favorite albums for Teasy, man?
Okay. So for me personally, I'm going to name the albums, then I'm going to go into detail about them. Food and Liquor 2, Everybody, Love Letter, Victory Lap, Marshall Mathers LP2, and True Believers. Now,
Telling people who the album's about.
that's what I'm about to do right now.
Okay.
So, I know a lot of y'all probably don't know who made Everybody. One of my favorite rappers of the last 10 years, Logic. Now, that album to me, the reason why I got that as one of my favorite projects of the last 10 years, from the start of the album, the album starts with a skit and a song where he gets killed by like a bus or a car or whatever. He talks to God or who he thinks to be God, and the album continues and progresses, and it just talks about the meaning of life, why are we here, and like, is there a God? What religion is right? Is reincarnation real? Until he gets to the end of the album, and God tells him everything. Whatever religion you believe is correct. Yes, reincarnation is real. You're going to come back as every race, religion, gender, so you can understand the human experience. And one day yourself, you'll become on a level of consciousness. If you listen to each song of the album connects through the whole story that is playing. And the main concept of the album is, man, treat everyone how you want to be treated, man. It's one of my favorite albums of the last 10 years. The next album is by one of my favorite rappers of all time, Eminem, the Marshall Mathers LP2. Now that album starts off with a song called Bad Guy, which is a lot of people tell you is Stan Part 2, where he actually kills off Stan. But the whole point of that whole song, for people who haven't heard that song, is he's basically telling you the old Eminem does no longer exist. A lot of people who be like, I wish I could listen to the old Eminem. Let me tell you, he's never coming back. He doesn't do pills no more. He doesn't drink. He's sober. So that's why you're never going to hear Slim Shady. You're never going to hear that version of Eminem no more, because he's no longer has all those anger issues he had. Then the album continues with a song called Legacy, where he's literally talking about his place in the rap game. Then it goes to a song that everybody should know, a hit song from that year, Monster, the song he had with Rihanna. Then to a song called Love Game, which he had with one of the hottest artists of the last 10 years too, Kendrick Lamar. And a song called Headlights, where for those who remember Eminem's early work, he had that song Clean Out My Closet. Headlights is his reconciliation song, where he apologized to his mom for making the song and now says he wants to be in his mom's life. So I love that album because if you're a fan of this artist, it's almost like take your favorite artist and see the growth he's made for like 20 years later into his career. Victory Lap, me and C's have talked about that album so much. If you are black, if you want to own a business, if you want to be motivated, for those artists who want to own their own masters, Victory Lap is like, to me, just a perfect album. Like from start to finish, every song bang, every song has a message, every song Nipsey is giving you his heart, his soul, and he's telling you life in the streets, but he's not telling you life in the streets in the sense of you should go in the streets and do what I did. He's just telling you this is what I had to do to get where I'm at. This is where I'm at now in my life. Now I'm trying to be an entrepreneur. Now I'm trying to create opportunities for black people in the community. And not only am I trying to do it, I want you to do it too. And there's so many songs from Dedication with Kendrick Lamar on the album. Then there's other songs from Right Hand to God, Hustle and Motivate. Like there's too many songs on the album that you could just listen to while you're in the gym, driving, as well as songs that would have you be looking at yourself and thinking to yourself, I need to do more, I need to be more motivated. Now I'm gonna go to the first non-rap album, True Believers. Now, for those who listen to country, you know this album. This is a Darius Rucker album. He got songs like Wagon Wheel, True Believers. Most of the song is him just talking about life growing up in South Carolina, growing up in the country, and just simple stuff like sipping on some whiskey and a beer on a Friday evening or Saturday evening at 5 p.m., coming home to my, wife or girlfriend or whatever, just going out to the fields. A lot of just simplistic things that we take for granted in life. And the title of the album is True Believers. The title song True Believers is actually a song that's actually talking about God. And that's one of the reasons why it's one of my favorite albums of the last 10 years. Because it's one of those songs that if you just really want to sit down and just hear a story when someone's professing their love for God, as well as look internally to your own relationship with God, it's a great album throughout. Now, I'm going to my first R&B album. Now, a lot of y'all be saying we can't talk about Mr. Robert. I'm gonna talk about him. Love Letter to me was a beautiful album. Like R. Kelly wrote magnificent songs in the album. It was, to me, it was the best R&B album of the last 10 years, in my opinion. From start to finish, I can listen to every single song. I get the vocalization. I get the sexualized songs from R. Kelly, but I also get the songs like when a woman's fed up, and the songs where he basically is begging for the woman to come back in his life, or he's just talking about his love for different women. But what made the album to me the best album for R&B music of the last 10 years is the very last song of the album. He covers Michael Jackson's "You Are Not Alone," which which is funny because even though he covers it, it's actually a song he wrote for Michael Jackson. So he really covers his own song at the very end of the album, and he starts off the song by saying, "To my idol, legend Michael Jackson." Like he literally is telling you, I wrote this whole album. I'm gonna end this album with the man that inspired me to make music, Michael Jackson. And he sings the song beautifully. And for if you have not heard "You Are Not Alone," whether it's Michael Jackson's or R. Kelly's version, it's one of the most beautiful songs you will listen to. It's not a song that you can listen to every day. Let's get that straight. It's almost like Brenda's Got a Baby. It's not a very happy song, but in terms of lyrically and vocally, it's gonna always be a very beautiful song. And my last album of the decade, "Food and Liquor 2" by the great Lupe Fiasco, who on Billboard had him as a top 15 rapper of all time, who I justifiably think is the top 15 rapper of all time. And for me personally, I heard this album when I was in college. I've always been somewhat pro-black. When I heard this album, and I've heard songs like Braveheart, and I've heard songs like Auburn Ballroom, and I've heard songs like Strange Fruition, which is a 70, 80-year remix to Strange Fruit by Billie Holiday. And I heard songs where he was quoting lyrics saying, "We went from slave ships to slave shifts." And I'm hearing how he's talking about how the KKK turning a mask for badges. And I heard songs where he was talking about banks trying to take black people homes away. So that's why they give you these fucked up loans. And I'm listening to it and hearing the racism throughout America in his music. And it just evolved. It didn't go nowhere. But those who like, physics, energy cannot be destroyed. It can only be just transferred. So the racism you saw in the 60s and 50s, let me tell you, in 2010, 2020, it just took a new shape and form. They just said we're gonna wear suits and ties, and instead of lynching y'all, we just gonna create laws and bills that lynch you without you even knowing it. And to me, any black person should listen to this album from start to finish, and you will feel empowered listening to this album, and it will make you be like, wow. And to me, those my best albums of the decade. Rose, how you feel?
Okay, so I got 10 albums um, for the decade from 20. I mean, yeah, so 2000, what 10 to 2010 to 2020. All these albums the last decade. Um, they're not in particular order, but these are just my favorite albums from the last decade. Extension and Level Event 2 by Busta Rhymes. I just thought that was he didn't come out with music in a long time, and then he dropped this album. Man, it was a great album to me. I can it's different styles. He got features on there. It just start to finish. I think it's just a great album. I Never Liked You by Future. It's one of Future's latest albums. He had a couple other albums that I might have put in there, but I decided to go with this one. Um, I don't no particular reason. I just decided to go with that one. Kiss Five by K Camp, awesome album. You can listen to that with your old lady, or you can listen to that with your boys. It's just like from start to finish. It's a great album. Um, Carter Five. Um, it was a long wait for the Carter Five to come out, and it didn't disappoint to me. I thought it was probably gonna be disappointing. You know what I'm saying? You know how you wait for so long for something, and then when it comes, it's like, oh, this ain't what we wanted. but I think he did a good job with that one. Port of Miami too. Rick Ross. Um, Classic album to me. From start to finish. Astro World was a great album. Um, Thug Motivation 103, great album. You know what I'm saying, by Jeezy. Um, Shoot, then we go. So Much Fun, Free Thug, Free Jeffrey. That was one of my favorite albums of the last decade. Based on a true story, Two Chains. Um, that was that was one of the ones. That was one I remember riding around. I was listening to that one on the MP3 player, riding around, riding around doing work. You know what I'm saying? Um, and then the last one, My Turn, Little Baby. That was a great album too. He done came up and he done took over the rap scene. So those are probably my top 10 albums of the last decade. No particular order, but if you get a chance, go check out those albums. Great listen. You got a road trip, do your thing, man. Listen, plug in and relax and listen to them. C's, where you at, man? Where you at, man?
So it was a lot. We mostly all listen to mostly rap. So I'm gonna stick it out for R&B real quick. R&B, a little bit of mixed different music. The Weekends, the trilogy, House of Balloons, that trilogy, like the Weekend, really just had a sound that was different from a lot of other artists. So I feel like he really changed. A titan of just a lot of music came back, dropped one album. One of the most low key artists ever. You hardly see her out. You never hear anything negative about her. It's Sade. She dropped that Soldier of Love. Dropped and that was some anthems. Um, just a lot of that. And then we got some significant artists. Kendrick Lamar's came out with his first tapes. There's so many. To Pimp a Butterfly, one of the biggest ones. The one that put me on was Overly Dedicated. That was just significant. That was like the theme song in college for me. My freshman year. Um, Nas came back, dropped King's Diseases, came back. Um, Couple favorite artists of mine, Leanne LaHavis, R&B singer from England. Two albums, Is Your Love Big Enough? Debut album, Green and Gold. Um, and then just changed the game for British rap was gonna be Skepta, one of the biggest rappers from over there. Konnichiwa, just that era, like 2016, when his album dropped, it was just so much around that just going on around that time where I really started listening to British rap music. And then J. Cole's Illuminati. Not a lot of people's favorite J. Cole project, but it was just a turn in his kind of like his the way he was doing albums, and that sound was really different. So I really liked how J. Cole came out around True Illuminati, and then artist that's known by some people been out came up in the odd future. Tyler the Creator, Earl Sweatshirt, associated with them, but not you know the biggest rapper. Casey Veggie's Life Changes. It just showed me that younger artists definitely had something to say, and they're able to make great albums. And that's you think about how long a 10-year span is, and you realize how much music you listen to. We're talking just a lot of music. You look at your phone or Spotify, your old iPod, and all this different music. So I mean, just sometimes go back and listen to some of that, you know, music from back in the day. So
Hey, you right, see, 10 years ago you had hair. I was 100 pounds less. You know,
might have been two, man.
might have been maybe two, maybe close to 2 bills. And Rose, his beard was just a little bit shorter. 10 years a lot could change. If you hear the laugh in the background, that's Mr. Juice Man laughing over my shoulder.
Y'all ain't call me though.
10 years ago, he had a little less gray in his beard. But hey, great episode. Y'all check out those albums. you know, as well as, me and C's got a little challenge that we're doing for the next month where we each are giving each other an album a week to listen to. The first two albums was Big L, Lifestyles Over the Poor and Dangerous. I finished listening to that a couple of days ago. It was a great album. And I gave him Biggie Smalls' Life After Death. So, hey, take that as you want and go on listen to some music on this Sunday afternoon.
All right.
Peace.
We out. I'm back quiet.